Hi everyone! You've heard of Omega, one of the Swiss industry's top-selling brands, but how familiar are you with its history? While most of Omega's portfolio as we know it today didn't take shape until around the 1940s and 1950s, Omega's history dates back much further, back one century to 1848, and a modest workshop in Switzerland to be exact. The brand, which wasn't known as Omega quite yet, was founded by Louis Brandt, who was highly regarded across Europe for his superior, precision-driven timepieces. After his death, he passed the business on to his two sons, Louis Paul and César, who moved the company to its current location, Biel, Bienne, in 1880. The two brothers made incredible strides in watchmaking during their time running the company, including the first wrist-worn minute-repeating watch in 1892 and the innovative 19 ligne caliber in 1894. A movement they would later refer to as Omega because it represented the pinnacle of their watchmaking prowess at the time. The familiar name would appear in official marketing materials the next year, with the brand integrating it into its name in 1903. By 1909, Omega had taken the business worldwide, expanding to 6 continents. Fast forward to 1932 and the Los Angeles Olympic Games. Omega became the official timekeeper, sending just one man with 30 chronographs to time that year's events. That partnership lives on today, only now it involves over 500 timekeepers and technology accurate up to 1/1000th of a second. A tradition of that partnership was born, featuring different special edition watches to commemorate each game, many of which are decorated with Olympic-inspired design elements to set them apart from the rest of the Omega portfolio. That same year, the brand would dabble in dive watches, producing the Marine, the world's first commercially available dive watch, complete with an extension clasp and a cork-sealed double case. However, it wasn't until 1948, during Omega's centenary, that the brand's most iconic dive watch, the Seamaster, would join the lineup. It has since become one of the company's flagship models, spawning various sub-collections, including the Aquaterra, Seamaster 300, DeVille, and Planet Ocean. Another cornerstone of the Omega catalog is the Constellation, or the Swiss watch, depending on who you ask. The model debuted in 1952 and is commonly distinguished by a unique bezel adorned with claws or griffs. A lesser-known innovation was the Lady Matic, which was released in 1955. It was the company's first automatic watch developed solely for women and was the smallest automatic movement in the world to pass chronometer testing. That watch, which was worn by the Queen of England herself, was re-released in 2010 with a fascinating, partially transparent dial that, when viewed from the right angle, reveals the coaxial movement inside the case. The Omega Professional line debuted just 2 years later in 1957, comprised of the Speedmaster, Seamaster 300, and Railmaster. The Railmaster would become the first mass-produced Omega watch to boast anti-magnetism higher than 1000 Gauss. The Speedmaster, on the other hand, would become a space exploration legend. Astronaut Wally Schirra famously wore the watch during the Mercury Sigma 7 mission in 1962, making it the first Speedy to go to space. 2 years later, Omega defeated 3 other watch brands to become the official timepiece of NASA, and consequently qualified by the agency for all manned space missions. The distinction cleared the way for the Speedmaster to make history in 1969 as the first wristwatch worn on the moon. Henceforth known as the Moon Watch, the chronograph would be strapped to the spacesuits of every astronaut who stepped foot on the moon after that fateful day. The Seamaster had a major moment of its own in 1995 when Pierce Brosnan strapped one to his wrist as he made his James Bond debut in the film GoldenEye. The international man of mystery and the Seamaster have been an inseparable duo ever since, with models featured in the 007 franchise sporting some seriously impressive spy gadgetry. The Aquaterra joined the Seamaster family in 2002, with the Planet Ocean following a few years later in 2005. While the Planet Ocean boasts 600 meters of water resistance, the Aquaterra appeals to a different crowd with a dressier aesthetic and 150 meters of water resistance. The next several decades saw many advancements in caliber making for Omega, including the first coaxial escapement, an anti-magnetic silicon Si14 balanced spring, a movement resistant to 15,000 Gauss, and an entirely new certification system established by the brand called a master chronometer. More notably, Omega resurrected the caliber 321 in 2019, the first Speedmaster movement and the engine driving many of the models that went to the moon. After more than 5 decades since it was discontinued, the brand blew the industry away with a faithful recreation of the original movement. As you can see, Omega has made incredible strides in watchmaking, from trailblazing chronographs to classically elegant dress watches and everything else in between. It will be fascinating to see what the innovative brand dreams up next.